people affect environment, environment delivers value back to people, and it's trying to better manage that whole interchange and interface, really. That's what the economics of the environment is about. My name is Dr. Jim Smart. I'm an environmental economist and I work in the Australian Rivers Institute. That's where I do my research, and I'm also at Griffith University teaching in Griffith School of Environment. There are many personal benefits that I get from working here at ARI. I'm an economist here, but the person in the next office is an ecologist, the person on the other side is a fisheries biologist. So I learn about a whole lot of new stuff. It's new for me, and that keeps my job interesting. It also means that I can continue to develop a better understanding of society, people and environment together, because that, from my perspective, that's what matters. A lot of what I do looks at the economics of managing water quality. Now, when you're managing water quality, what you're really doing is you're managing what happens on the land, because what happens on the land affects what runs off from the land into the catchments and ultimately down catchments into lakes and ultimately out into the coastal waters. Looking forward, there are a continuing set of challenges. And to be honest, I think those challenges are becoming more acute. A lot of it's driven by climate change and increasing populations. Australia faces a particular set of climate challenges, and many of those are around water. So there will be an ongoing challenge to try and maintain adequate water supply and appropriate water quality throughout the continent, particularly as we're thinking of developing water resources rather more in the north. That will have to be done very carefully and appropriately to actually ensure that that is a long-term sustainable development mechanism. So yes, there's plenty to do. Water quality is important. I've been involved with several separate blocks of work around that. One of those recently has been looking at managing the nitrogen runoff that comes down from wet tropics catchments onto the Great Barrier Reef. It's important to manage that because that actually puts extra stress onto the Great Barrier Reef, makes it harder for the reef to cope with the challenges that it's going to face through climate change, like ocean acidification, ocean temperature rise, more frequent cyclones and more intense cyclones. We've certainly found that appropriately placed wetland areas can be very cost effective. They can actually suck some of the nitrogen out of the catchment before it gets down to the reef. And if you have economic mechanisms where landowners can be paid for that nitrogen removal that their wetlands are doing, then it makes the wetland much more economically viable for them. Generally, farmers are very pro-environment. They tend to take a long view and they don't like to think about their activities having an adverse effect downstream or down catchment in the coastal waters. So we're trying to find more cost-effective ways of managing the industries on the land in those areas so that you can still have production agriculture going into the future, but you can also have the Great Barrier Reef going into the future.